starts like this. Today I pledge to use my head to think responsibly. Yesterday is in the past. And today is a new day. And today is a new day. I am unique. And I have something to offer the world. And I have something to offer the world. Say it like you mean it. I will not let what I see dictate what I will be. Success is my goal. And only I define that. And only I define that. Respect. Honesty. And hard work. And hard work is what I will display. I will be better. I will be better. I will be better. I will be better. I am better. I am better. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I find somebody and point to them. Find them. Say, you are enough. 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 All right, find one more person before we sit down. Speak that life into them. You are enough. 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 All right, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. You guys made me see it. See, it wasn't too bad, was it? I want to first off by saying what an honor and a privilege it is to stand before you guys today. A major thanks to Delta Sigma Theta, the alumni chapter here in Anderson, South Carolina. It's definitely an honor, and I don't take it lightly when I get a chance to speak to you guys. And if I had, I guess, a title of this message today, I really was thinking, it kind of, I guess it takes a lot of my headspace when I have the opportunity to talk, just to really try to hear. And I'm glad we're in the church setting so we can keep it all the way real with what God wants me to say and pour out to you guys. So the vast message, I guess, in a sense, would be the urgency of a leader. The urgency of a leader. And if you guys can think with me, just thinking that our world that we live in, the successes that we see, the problems that we see, they stem from some type of leadership, whether it's effective or ineffective, right? And so, dealing with this whole sense of leadership, raise your hand if you're a leader. I should see everybody's hands raised, right? Because we're all leaders, we just lead in different ways, right? And I always think about to my mother and how she led my family and how I was able to benefit from her leadership, right? And so, with this whole idea of the urgency of a leader, before I even get started and dig into what I want to talk to you guys about, it's one thing I'm going to have to get you to know and understand and truly believe, and it's the fact that you were chosen. And I'm talking to my recipients today who's getting awarded and recognized, but I'm also talking to everybody in this room. Because when I talk about the aspect of being chosen, I'm not talking about to win an award, right? I'm talking about the fact that you were chosen way before your mother and father even thought about you. And even just to connect the story, I love telling the story of my birth. Some of you may have heard it, you may not have, but long story short, I was adopted. And I didn't find out until my sophomore year of college. And when I tell you that thing hurt, it was definitely painful. When you grow up thinking one thing, believing all these things for so long, to come to find out that's not true, it hurt. But during that process of healing, my mother began to tell me about the process of my adoption. And so, long story short, my mother's first husband was shot and killed. My sister's father left dead in the ditch. And she wanted a son to be there for her daughter, which is my sister. And she prayed God's will be done. What should she do? Of course, she didn't want to be married because her husband just died. Y'all know she wasn't about to have no baby with just anybody, right? So she felt like God told her adoption. And so she went through the adoption process. Long story short, it failed. Then she got a call 5 years later. 5 years later from the case manager saying, your son has been born. Now, mind you, when she telling me the story, it sent chills down my body because this really, in a sense, gave purpose to my life. And things started to make a lot more sense. And so she told me, and her telling me this, she was saying how she was doubting. She was like, 5 years later, I'm going to pray God's will be done. It didn't work. And then she said the caseworker, my biological mother, picked her out specifically. She said she wanted her son to be raised by a single mother and a woman of faith. And so looking at my life, a lot of those things start to make a lot of sense. The things you see as a product of single mother, and also the things you see with a woman of faith. And I know you guys are plenty of women of faith in here. You guys are strong, and I salute you guys wholeheartedly. But just understand the fact I was chosen, I was selected. And that word chosen, it means that you're one that's selected over all the others. It's a special sense in that word chosen. That someone felt like you were appropriate for this occasion. And so the fact that you were chosen, you now have the responsibility to make choices. And normally when I speak, I always talk about the choice of the leaders to love, right? And what love really is. I'm glad we in church that agape love, right? That love is patient, love is kind, it's not self-seeking. And I wanted to go that direction today, but I was feeling something slightly different. I was thinking about just scrolling through social media, watching the news, all that type stuff. I was thinking about another responsibility that we have as leaders, and it's the responsibility to be a beacon of hope. And I'm also a co-founder of a nonprofit organization. It's a mentor organization in Greenville called Young Brothers Academy. And this allows me to sit with various communities leaders when we strategize and game plan what's going on in our communities, how we can help. And I was sitting down with this lady the other day, and it kind of hit me. We were talking about all the studies, all the statistics, talking about poverty, social capital, all these barriers that we face. But she said one thing that they do not talk about is the loss of hope. And if you've never been hopeless, it's kind of hard to relate to that story, right? And so going through all this, I was like, the whole idea of being a beacon of hope came to me. And I know it's so cliche, we probably haven't heard it before, but the power in that phrase is life-changing. It truly is. And I can think back a part of my life when I was homeless, going through my high school year, 10th grade. My mother, we couldn't afford where we were staying, so we ended up in a motel room staying with family. And during this whole time, I'm like, man, like what's going on? Like it was easy to lose hope, right? Because I had two different roads I could have went down. And thinking back, it was nothing but the grace of God that kept me straight and narrow. But I'm sitting in a hotel room, my mom needs money, I need money. We all know what alternative route is, right? But I had people in my life who instilled that hope into me, let me know that my current situation is not my final destination, right? And can you say it? Say my current situation is not my final destination. Say it like you mean it. My current situation is not my final destination. That's one thing my mother instilled in me. And she made sure I knew that what we was going through was not for me, that it was going for somebody else. She knew that one day I was going to stand in front of people and be able to tell my story. And so going through all of this, we talk about being a beacon of hope. And we see this term as a beacon. Anybody know what a lighthouse is? A lighthouse? I know you probably don't see them often, they don't talk about it no more. But a beacon is at the top of a lighthouse, right? And so the purpose of a beacon is a signal of guidance, right? And we're talking about the responsibility and for you guys, the leaders in this room, to serve as a beacon of hope, a signal of guidance for people. And the purpose is to guide you through the dark, right? To guard ships through the night, through those dark times. And so you're going to have to be that person to help guide the people you're leading through those dark times. And so it's the urgency of a leader to understand that we are here for a reason. That it is a reason why you're here. There is purpose to your life. And I always use the analogy, the example. We can take the pews that we're sitting in, right? The pews have a purpose, right? It's to sit on them. I hope you didn't doubt the fact that when you sit in them, that it wasn't going to hold you. But the simple fact that it has a purpose. And you cannot tell me that chairs and things that are non-human, not God created, that has a purpose, and we don't, right? So just understanding there's purpose to your life, there's power in your life, but also when we're guiding people, when we're being that beacon of hope, we also have to protect our hope, because it's easy. It's easy to lose hope. It's easy. We look around us, man. It's hard, and it's hopeful for me to see you guys, especially the people that's getting recognized today. Because it's not by chance that you're receiving an award. It's not by chance that you were selected, you were chosen to receive an award. It's in hopes that you're going to continue what you're doing. Not only for you, but for that next generation that's looking towards you. Because one day we're not going to be here, right? Somebody's going to have to carry that torch. Somebody's going to have to keep it going. So what you're getting today is not, hey, look at me, let's flex for the ground. You know what I'm saying? I got a certificate and award today. But it's simply to show that I gotta keep doing what I'm doing. I'm on a mission, right? There's people looking up to me. There's people counting on me. I have to serve as that beacon of hope. But like I said, you have to protect it. And it's one thing, when I say that, it's one thing I do not do, and that's watch the news at nighttime. I don't. I cannot go to sleep with that burden and heaviness on my mind, because it'll take you out each time. And you'll be carrying a weight that you do not need to carry. Another thing, we're protecting that hope in social media. You got to be mindful of what you're putting in your mind, what you're feeding yourself. Because one thing I do know and can attest to, you can only give what you're full of. So if we're going to be leaders, we got to make sure we're not inflicting pain and hurt on other people, right? Our issues. So just being mindful of that. And also, like, social media is powerful. And if you look at mine, I use it to be a beacon of hope. People need to be able to see you and say that I can make it. I always heard this quote. It said, the best gift you can give someone is a good example. I'm going to say it again. It says, the best gift you can give somebody is a good example. People are going to need to see how you made it out. People are going to have to know, well, if Jordan could do it, you know what I'm saying, I can do it too. If I still see Miss Tracy still standing and walking strong, I can do it too, right? People need to see that. People got to attest to it. And so, in a minute, use your platform. And one thing about a lighthouse, and it was crazy, I was looking it up before I came here, that you can see a lighthouse from up to 50 miles away. Think about that. You can see that light from 50 miles away. So that told me that people ain't got to be close to you for you to impact and change their lives. As long as you're doing what you're doing, you're going to influence people that you don't even know. And I can attest to that. I got people coming up to me, calling me by name, and I got to pretend like I know them. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you too. And I think, well, where do I know that person from? But just in a sense, you are influencing and impacting people that you don't even know. Like, people are watching you. Like, I promise you. Where do you think, well, I'm just in high school, this doesn't really apply to me? No, it definitely applies to you, because y'all the cool generation. My generation starting to phase out. You know what I'm saying? We don't do TikToks and all that, the woes no more, right? So y'all the cool generation. They look at us now that we lame, because we not doing what y'all do. But at the same time, in all seriousness, we have to remember that people are looking at us and people need hope. And if you've never been hopeless, you probably don't understand that. But I can attest. I've seen some things. I've seen drugs tear my family apart. Like I said, I've been homeless. I had to deal with the whole trust with my parents, you know what I'm saying, with the whole adoption issue, but understanding that was bigger than me, right? Y'all, hope is real. I know we can look at family members, we can look at our friends, and it's easy for people on the outside to be like, well, they should have did this, right? They should have just got a job. They should have sold drugs. They should have done other stuff, right? But we understand what when we're put in hopeless situations, how we react. So people need to see you. People need to see your light. People need to see you shine. And before I sit down, it's a quote that I heard it's by Dr. Shane Lopez. And he said, the tiny ripple of hope that you put in effect can change the path of someone's life. And I thought about that, like that, just a tiny little bit of hope. And it's what I needed when I was sitting in the hotel room. The LaSonia Dickies and Derek Elps in my life. LaSonia Dickey was a lady who became a mother to me, that made sure I had when my mother couldn't. Derek Elps was my barber. Somebody I've been going to for over 15 years. We know how big the barbershop is in the black community. But he poured into me daily, letting me know that my current situation is not my final destination. But now we got to service those lights. We have to. And so before I close, I know it's warm in here, but I need, if you're receiving an award tonight, I need you to stand up. All of them. All right, so what I need y'all to do, I just need y'all to repeat after me, right? And I need you to say this like you mean it. Life is too short.
Life is too short.
I say it like you mean it. Life is too short.
Life is too short.
My destiny is too great.
My destiny is too great.
My purpose is too important.
My purpose is too important.
To allow people to get me off track.
To allow people to get me off track.
Life is too short.
Life is too short.
My destiny is too great.
My destiny is too great.
My purpose is too important.
My purpose is too important.
To allow myself to get me off track.
To allow myself to get me off track.
For I know
I was born
for such a time as this.
for such a time as this.
Thank you.